thank the chairman for allowing us to also be, drawing the contrast between not only what may seem remote, and that's what's occurring in Mexico and the Northern Triangle countries, but then also how we're experiencing those kind of distant patterns, those distant trends, those distant issues, and how that's making an impact here at home as well. So I want to shift to Sheriff Hinkley. Sheriff, in your testimony, you outlined a few challenges that you have been confronting within Michigan as a result of housing immigrant children at Star Commonwealth. So this administration has opened several emergency intake sites similar to Star Commonwealth to help HHS deal with the influx of unaccompanied children coming to the southern border this year. Could you please talk a little more about these challenges and how local law enforcement, including your sheriff's department, has had to adapt in order to meet them?
Absolutely. So this, this is an interesting situation when we have children in our jurisdiction that our state law has already provided significant protection for children in our communities. So when the children are in our jurisdiction and the federal authorities, and let me start this off by saying this has been a fantastic relationship. We've had great communication, but this is a surrounding funding. When it comes back to, we were trying to make sure that all of our state law obligations were met with the children that are on the campus there. And so when there is a crisis or an emergency, local law enforcement has to be involved. And I would like to say, we initially, they had asked for a number for our community services officer to be on the campus to be plugged in. And then we eventually found out that there was absolutely no funding to make that happen. And our intent was to make sure that all of the state law guidelines were being met with the children. So we both had everyone had the same goal here for success. We just didn't have the funding to make that happen. And there were so many other things, including law enforcement and mental health and our sexual assault services investigations in the county that's going to be affected by this impact. And there's just no funding to offset it.
And Sheriff, could you speak to just your impressions? Are you witnessing? I know you've spoken positively, at least of kind of the interactions and the communication. Were you under the impression that these were kind of well-developed plans, or something that was put together a little bit more in haste?
Yeah, absolutely. It was very, very unexpected. And if we had to do this over again, I would have rather had this conversation a month out, and we were able to establish those plans and how the federal laws interact with state laws. So everything was taken care of, and it just didn't happen. It was very unexpected. And when you're in the middle of a budget cycle for your own department and you're asked to do more services and you just don't have that funding to do that, it's a crisis here at our agency. Also, trying to make sure that these are all met.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to continuing working on this, and I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now